Hamzamo family. Welcome to the Black Coach Fire Network Swahili classes for the weekend. I trust that everyone is doing fantastic, and I also hope that your weekend is coming up just fine. We had a bit of a problem with the other broadcast that I tried to set up earlier, but I do trust that this particular one will actually work. And of course, this is a Saturday Swahili class on the Black Coach Fire Network where we get together and try to learn Swahili as a family. And like I said, I would just like to thank everyone for taking the time to join us on the Black Hot Fire Network. We never take your company for granted, even as we try to connect and learn Swahili as a family. It's always important that you are able to really familiarize yourself with an African language. It might be Swahili, it might be Zulu, it might be Shona, it might be whatever other African language that you might like to connect with. But of course, Swahili is widely spoken on the Eastern African part of the continent. We do have other languages that are more popular in other parts of the continent. For example, the Shona language, which is spoken by Rumbizai, she's one of us on the Black Hot Fire Network. She comes from Zimbabwe. The Shona language is widely spoken in Southern Africa, but our focus lies on the Swahili language, which is spoken in the eastern part of the continent. Countries such as Tanzania, we also do have countries such as Kenya, Uganda, and we also do have countries such as Zambia. Even in Zambia, I do believe they do have some Swahili speakers in Zambia as well. And of course, it's a delight when we come together and we are able to connect with one particular language. And of course, the Southern African nations have also been saying that it's a good thing to be able to connect with the language of Africa. And that particular language would be the East African language of Kiswahili, which people do call Kiswahili. But nonetheless, I trust that you are doing well. I don't know what you are up to this particular weekend, and I've been trying to reconnect, but finally I'm able to reconnect. I hope the stream is steady, and I do hope that everyone is excited to have the opportunity to learn Swahili. We started this particular class sometimes back, I believe about an year or might be over an year. Yeah, we have been doing this particular class for over an year. And in case you would like to check out the the gallery of some of the previous classes, I believe it's available on our YouTube channel and also on Spreaker. If you head over to Spreaker and search for Black Hot Fire Network, you will be able to find some of our previous classes on the Black Hot Fire Network Spreaker page. That is why we do have a backup of some of the classes, because as times goes by, sometimes we find challenges with YouTube. Our channels are taken down, and I believe this is because of the information that we do share right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. But nonetheless, we choose to pursue the same path of sharing the information and, of course, contributing to the awakening of our people globally. It doesn't matter whether topics are controversial. We just want to get out there and give the information as it is, which is actually a good thing. But nonetheless, today we shall be discussing a little bit about the introduction to Swahili. In case you're joining us for the first time, we want to say you are so much welcome. In Swahili, we do say karibu. And if I want to say thank you, I really say asante, which means you are welcome. And of course, if you're seeing someone after a very, very long time, you normally do say nimefurahi kukuona. That is how you simply say it in Swahili. Ninafuraha kukuona. But today we shall be doing a little bit about the background of our Swahili. Some people like to say that Swahili is a mixed language, which of course came about by the Arabs and the Bantu living in the coastal regions of Eastern Africa. But I dispute the fact when it comes to, if you look at the Swahili language critically, you might discover that the impact of the Arabic words is minimal. It's there, but it's really not, it's minimal. But what you get to realize even with the impact of the Arabic language on the Swahili language is that there was an addition of consonants. You know, most of these Swahili words with a special class of consonants, these are the only words that were mainly borrowed from the Arabic language. But for the Bantu part of it, the Bantu did not have this special class of consonants. I will be telling us about the Swahili vowels. There are 5 of them. And the Swahili vowels, of course, are A, E, O, U. Those are the 5 Swahili vowels. Let me just try to put them down so that you are able to understand the vowels in Swahili. And most of the Swahili words normally do end up with the syllable. with a vowel sound. So let me just share this. E, O, U. Those are the 5 vowels in Swahili. E, O, U. And of course, these are letters of the alphabet. These are some of the letters of the English alphabet. This is the English alphabet A, the English alphabet E, the English alphabet I, the English alphabet O, and the English alphabet letter U. These are the 5 letters in the alphabet, the English alphabet, but they do form part of what we call the Swahili vowels. And the vowels sound like A, E, O, U. For example, let me just use some brief examples of just illustrating how you use the vowels. For example, might be used in the word anataka, which simply means he or she wants. He or she wants. It's a phrase which means he or she wants. But instead of using a phrase, let me just use a simple verb, which is andika. Andika in Swahili, andika, which is the vowel A. Andika is simply means to write. Andika, which simply means to write. And if you're talking about andika, the word andika, it simply means to write, but it's andika. The vowel A, which is the English vowel, the English alphabet letter A. In Swahili, it becomes A, andika. And of course, we also can use the word anza. Anza is a Swahili word which simply means to start. Anza simply means to start. Anza. For example, if I said anza sasa, it means to start or to begin, and therefore that is with the vowel A. Sorry, the vowel A, which is the English alphabetical letter A. If you look at the other vowel, we also do have another vowel, and the second vowel simply is A. A is the second vowel, which is the English letter E. For example, endelea in the word endelea, which is a Swahili word which means continue. Endelea simply means to continue, but it's in the context of me trying to illustrate the vowel A. The vowel A, endelea, which simply means to continue, endelea means to continue. Or I can also use another example. Which is elekeza. Elekeza simply means to direct or to guide. But that particular word starts with the vowel E, which is the English letter E. The English letter E is Swahili vowel E. For example, you might say, for example, the English word end, to finish, or to end. And it starts with the letter E, starts with the English letter E, but in Swahili it would sound as E. And it almost sounds almost the same. It sounds almost the same. For example, elevate, it has sort of a phonetic, how can I call it, a phonetic similarity between English and Swahili. The vowel E, which is the second vowel E, you normally say endelea, or elekeza. Or you can also use other different examples of the same. Let's go to the third vowel. The third vowel is E, which is the English letter I. The English letter I is normally, for example, you can use the word inuka. Inuka means to stand up or rise up. Inuka simply means to stand up or rise up. Inuka means to stand up, stand or rise up, rise. But it almost, if you compare it to English, any word that starts with an I, which now is a Swahili vowel E, will be, for example, inside. I think they also share the same phonetic kind of, I think we almost use the same kind of, how can I call it? It sounds almost the same. For example, inside inside starts with the letter I. Yeah? Inside starts with the letter I. But if you to use or to read any word which starts with the letter I, it would almost sound almost similar, like inuka, inuka. Inuka also stands with the letter I, which is the Swahili vowel E. The English letter I, let me just repeat again. The English letter I is a Swahili vowel E. It's Swahili vowel E. And therefore, if you have a word like igiza, which means to entertain, igiza means to entertain, it gives a means to entertain, but it starts with the letter I. It starts with the letter I, which is the which is the Swahili vowel E. And therefore it would be like inuka, inuka. And if you go to another word, for example, ingia is a verb. And ingia as a verb means get in or get inside, get in or get inside. You would really say ingia. It's a verb in Swahili, ingia, which means get in or get inside, get in or get inside. But it also sounds like you know how you would use the English letter I. For example, inside, intimidate, E. It sounds like E. It sounds like E the way it would sound in English. We also do have the third vowel, the fourth vowel, O, which is the English letter O. The English letter O is the Swahili vowel O. It's Swahili vowel O. For example, you might use the word ogopa. Ogopa is Swahili meaning to fear. If you fear something, you would be said to ogopa. You'll be said to be fearing that thing. You can say nina ogopa ajali. Let me just use the phrase ogopa ajali. Ogopa ajali, which means to fear an accident, to be fearful of an accident, or to fear an accident, or to be fearful of an accident. But this Swahili vowel O, the Swahili vowel O, it's the English letter O. It's the English letter O in the alphabet. Of course, we do have about 26 characters. We do have the characters in the alphabet. And of course, some of them are borrowed. And they are used in Swahili as well. Now, of course, we do have the other one, A, E, I, O. Then the last one is U. The last one is U. And for example, let me just use the word ugua, which is the vowel U in Swahili, but that is the English letter U. The English letter U becomes the vowel U in Swahili. The English letter U becomes the vowel U in Swahili. For example, you might say ugua. Ugua simply means to ail from something. If you're ailing from maybe typhoid, or you're ailing from cholera, or you're ailing from TB, or you're ailing from whatever other condition, or even you're ailing from COVID, you would say ugua, which means to ail, ugua. Ail from. But this one has a difference. I believe this one has a difference because in English, when you're using the letter U, when you're using the letter U in the alphabet, and when you're using it in a word, maybe it's in a word, and you start that the word starts with the letter U, you do not say O. You do not say O in English. You normally say A. For example, under, and therefore there is a difference. I believe when you come into to use the Swahili vowel O, which is the English letter U, there's a difference in how you pronounce it in English and how you pronounce it in Swahili. In Swahili, you normally say U, ugua, but in English, if you're using a letter U to start a word, you would simply say A. For example, under, which starts with the letter U, does not say unda. You do not say unda, but in Swahili, you say ugua. You would say ugua. I don't know if you're getting me, and the point I'm trying to get across. But nonetheless, we do have 5 vowels in Swahili, and I would also like to underscore the point that underscore the point that also in Swahili, we normally use all the words of the alphabet. Sorry, all the letters of the alphabet. Use all the characters in the alphabet, the 26 characters in the alphabet. that we have the 26 characters in the English alphabet being used in Swahili, apart from 2 of them. And these are Q and X. Q and X. We do not have Q and also X in Swahili. These are the 2 characters of the alphabet that are normally excluded in Swahili. You will not find any word in Swahili that has the letter Q. You will also not find any word in Swahili that has the letter X. And you can ask me why. I do not know up to this particular point. I do not understand why. But when it comes to the vowels, the Swahili vowels, sorry, the Swahili language vowels comprise of all the letters in the English alphabet apart from Q and X. The vowels constitute really of all the letters in the alphabet apart from Q and X. And therefore, like I said, you will not find any word with a Q in Swahili. You'll also not find any word in Swahili with a Q. And therefore, that is what you need to understand right here, even as we proceed with our class. If you find any word with an X, that is not a Swahili word. If you find any word in with a Q, that is also not a Swahili word. And it's just important really just get to understand that. And we also do have what we call the special class of consonants. The special class of consonants, I was saying earlier that Swahili has some influence from the Arabic language. And personally, this is my personal opinion, I believe all the special class of consonants came from outside Swahili, because in the Bantu language, you do not really have the special class of consonants. It's my thinking. I might be mistaken, but I believe this special class of consonants, for example, the consonants in Swahili, I just shared with us the vowels. So let me just talk about the consonants. The consonant equals all the letters equals all the letters in the English alphabet. Except X and Q. But like I said, we also do have some special, I missed the letter on the alphabet. But like I said, there is a special class of consonants. Special class of consonants. And this special class of consonants normally comprises 2 consonants being connected. For example, the consonant D, which is da in Swahili, you simply say da or do or de. You can use that particular one with all these other vowels, combine the consonant with the vowel, because the consonant without a vowel, it's nothing. You cannot really use a consonant without a vowel. But nonetheless, this special class of consonants comprise 2 consonants being put together. For example, D and H. We also do have C and H. These are the special class of consonants, C and H. We also do have the S and H, the L's and H. We also do have the T and H. What are the special? The C and put the C and H. We also do have the K and H, I believe. For example, Khalifa or Halifa, the K and H. We also do have, for example, TH, Dhahabu, Chakula, Shughuli, Demanini, Khalifa. Those are some of the examples that we can use when you talk about the special class of consonants. Of course, there are more than these, but for the case of our lesson for today, we shall use just these few examples. For example, with the word Dhahabu, which means gold, Dhahabu, which means gold. You find that you are using the D and H, which is a special class of consonants in Swahili. It's a special class of consonants, and this special class of consonants normally do comprise. This special class of consonants normally do comprise 2 consonants put together. For example, CH, DH, I believe even GH. We also do have another one I almost forgot, which is NG with an apostrophe. NG with an apostrophe. NG with an apostrophe is also another special class of Swahili consonants. And the NG really would be used, for example, in the word ng'ombe. Ng'ombe simply means a cow, Ng'ombe. Ng'ombe means a cow. Just use the example. Ng'ombe simply means a cow. And we also do have another special class of consonant. For example, the ny. For example, in the word nyasi, nyasi means grass. It means grass. But nonetheless, I don't want to confuse us with a special class of consonants, and I think I should have taken a minute to just get to touch on the background of Swahili. I said Swahili was developed as a result of the interaction between the Arabs and the Bantu people in the East African coastal cities. For example, Zanzibar, Mombasa, among other different coastal regions in Eastern Africa. And what you get to realize is that people do say that Swahili is a mixed language, and I'd like to dispute that particular fact. I believe that Swahili is a Bantu language, and apart from the influences that were added by these Arabs, them putting up this particular special class of consonants and everything else, I believe that Swahili is predominantly a Bantu language. And I realize that because even when, for example, when we went to Rwanda last year in April, when we were in Rwanda, and I could make out some words in Kinyarwanda, because Kinyarwanda also is a Bantu language. I could make out some of the words that they were actually saying, and I could also sort of compare them to Swahili. I think when you are in Rwanda, you cannot really get lost. You cannot really completely be locked out of the conversation simply because you are not speaking in Kinyarwanda. I believe with a bit of an understanding of Kiswahili, you might be at a better position to understand that. And I also found a similarity between Kiswahili and also Kibaganda. Baganda is the language of the people of Uganda. There's also some similarities between that. And I also, coming closer home, I am from central Kenya, and I get to realize that most of the words that we do use in my local language are almost sort of shared even between us as the people of central Kenya and the people of coastal Kenya, because they are also the Bantu people, and we are also a Bantu people, and therefore that also goes back to the same point that we are one people, but we have been divided because of this ethnicity and tribes and everything else. But if you come even, for example, to central Kenya, and you're asking someone, for example, for a cooking stick, a cooking stick is what you use to make a meal, which is called ugali. You mix maize flour and water, boiled water, and you make some meal, which is called ugali. It's very, very popular. And if you are using, I'll share it with all the Bantu people. Yes, there is something you will not really get lost. For example, in Kinyarwanda, I could hear some words. I was like, okay, I might know what you're trying to say. But for example, let me just give an example of what is happening. The coastal language of Swahili and the language of the people in central Kenya. There is something called mwiko. Mwiko simply means the cooking stick. When you're trying to make some meal, there is a very, very common meal in central Kenya. It's called ugali. Like I said earlier, you boil water, you put water in a cooking pot, then boil it, and then add some maize flour. And when you add it, then you continue to, you stir and stir and stir, and then make it into a shape, which becomes ugali. And what we do call the cooking stick, we call it mwiko. And we call it mwiko. And also in the coastal region, they also do call it mwiko. And also some other words, for example, like nguo. Nguo means cloth. Nguo simply means cloth. And if you're talking about nguo in central Kenya, you just say nguo. And if you go to the coastal region, you'll also just talk about, you just also call it nguo. It doesn't change. It's a Bantu language, and I think it has been borrowed. In case you're wondering what ugali looks like, ugali this is what ugali looks like. And you can have ugali with anything. You can have ugali with greens. You can have ugali with beef. You can have ugali with even eggs. You can have ugali rather with everything. So if you are ever in Kenya and someone asks you what you might love to eat, I believe you might love to try a bit of ugali. And like I said, this is just water. You boil it in a cooking pot, and then you add some maize flour, and then you continue to stir. And when you stir, you use corn flour, all maize flour. You just continue stirring, and then you make it into this particular shape with your cooking stick. And the cooking stick is normally called mwiko. in central Kenya and also in the coastal region of Swahili. And that is why I do say there are so many similarities, and the languages also do borrow from each other. And for example, even Malango, Malango is a Swahili word which means the door. And even if you go to central Kenya and you say Malango, they will understand you're talking about Malango. They know it's the door. I don't know if there's any other word for that in central Kenya, but nonetheless, that is what you get to. It looks nasty. It's yummy, actually. It's really it's a staple food. If you go to Western Africa, if you go to Western Kenya, and you just want to get to connect to the people of Western Kenya, I don't think the people of Western Kenya can feel as if they have eaten any meal without having incorporated that ugali. It's called ugali, ugali, ugali. And they have ugali with chicken. The people of Western Kenya, they are called the Luya community. The Luya community, I think, their food, normally what they do get to consume the most is ugali. And I was asking a lady, there was a lady that was with us right here on the Black Watch Network from Zambia. And I asked her, do you guys get to enjoy some ugali in Zambia? And she told me, yeah, we do. But we do have a different name for it. If you go to Zambia, they call it Nshima. And also when we were in Rwanda, and I was asking whether the guys in Rwanda do get to consume ugali, if I can get some of that in their hotels, they told me, yeah, they do have it, but it goes under a different name. I can't really remember what John told me. I was asking John. Kami really is from that particular side, but Kami is also not that community. There are so many communities in Kenya. Kami is also not from that community. I'm talking about a specific community that enjoy ugali and chicken. It's called the Luya community. Kami happens to be from that area, but now she also comes from another different community in that particular still area, another different ethnic group, which is called the Kisi. And then from that particular western area, you can also go to the other eastern part of Kenya. Then you'll find some people called the Kamba people from the eastern part of Kenya. The Kamba people, we had a guest in the studio sometimes back. She's an artist. She was called Mumbua. Mumbua was actually from the Kamba community. And all these communities get to eat some ugali, but nonetheless, it's the same food. Going back to the class for today, I want to share with us a little bit of insight when it comes to the matters to do the vowels and the consonants. Like I said earlier, I believe the special class of consonants were not originally from the Bantu people. This is my belief. I believe the Arabs, when the Arabs came up, they added this particular special class of consonants to Swahili. And there are not so many of them, but they are there. And that is what I believe to be the Arabic influence on Swahili. I may be mistaken, but that is my belief, because in the original, even in my own native language, we do not have the special class of consonants. They are not there in my own native language. And therefore, that is why I believe Swahili, being a Bantu language, it also did not have these special class of consonants. These were just added when the Arabs came in and they were trying to make sense of what is happening with Swahili, and that is when the special class of consonants came in. I was also asking myself earlier on. I was asking myself, what is the oldest language? What is the oldest language in the world? I was just trying to ask myself, what is the oldest language in the world? I did not have an answer for that, but let me just check these real quick on Google. Because I would really love to know what is the oldest language in the world. This is a lie. I think this is a lie. Sometimes I know a lie when I see it. I think this is a lie. I think I know a lie when I see it, and this is a lie from Google. So I just typed in the oldest language in the world because I wanted to know how people used to communicate back then. And they're telling me that the Tamil language is recognized as the oldest language in the world, and it is the oldest language of the Dravidian family. The language had a presence. The language had a presence even around 5,000 years ago. Like we were saying earlier, even from the calendar that we were sharing yesterday on the Africa Today show, we go back way back from 5,000. We are not 5,000 years old. The human race is not 5,000 years ago, and you cannot tell me that this is the languages of 5,000 years ago, because I believe even before 5,000 years ago, people were still communicating. And they also say that the oldest language in the world is Sanskrit, and also Tamil and also Hebrew. They're saying that these are the oldest languages, Sanskrit and Tamil and Hebrew, which are over 5,000 years ago, followed by Chinese, Arabic, Lithuanian, and more. This is Google playing games. I don't think those are I don't think those are the oldest languages that are 5,000 years ago. I believe that is an utter lie. No spikes. Google will lie. They will say it's Sumerian. The oldest languages came out of Africa. Yeah, because you cannot tell me that Hebrew Hebrew is also among the oldest languages in the world. It does not also add up. It's nonsensical. But nonetheless, going back to the conversation about Swahili, I was saying that the impact of the Arabic language, or the impact of the Arabs on the Swahili language, simply comes in when they add those vowel sounds. For me, from where I come from, which is a Bantu language, we do not have the special class of consonants, but Swahili itself has a special class of consonants. I believe they're about maybe 8 to 10 special class of consonants that are also adds into this particular language of Swahili. But I believe it existed even before the Arabs came up and added those particular languages. I already told you Hebrew is a Greek, so how can it be one of the oldest languages? Yes, I believe you told us that yesterday. When you are talking about the issue of the Greek trying to have to make this language so they can continue to push their own narrative. And Google is a lie. But nonetheless, let me just go back into our class for today. I wanted to teach us a little bit about the Swahili the vowels and consonants. I believe I already tried to illustrate briefly about that. But nonetheless, let me go further and get into some of some Swahili grammar right here on the Blackboard Fun Network Saturday Swahili class. And I will just briefly go into the introductions into Swahili. And when you talk about the introduction of Swahili, I said it was a Bantu language that has some influence from the Arabic language, but the Arabs came in and the influence is not really so much. But also I wanted to put some points across, which are some of the main differences between Swahili and English. When you're trying to learn a new language, you learn the new language based on your existing knowledge of the language that you use. That is what people try to do. You try to compare, what does this sound like in Swahili? What does this English word sound like in Swahili? But there are so many differences between English and Swahili. For example, Swahili has only 5 vowel sounds. Sorry. Swahili has only 5 vowel sounds, and this is a, e, o. When you go to the other side and compare to English, English has 22 vowel sounds. English has 22 vowel sounds, and therefore it's completely different. And now, if you're trying to learn Swahili, it's very, very much important to realize that every word in Swahili ends with a vowel sound. And the vowel sound could either be a, e, or o. Those are the 5 vowel sounds, and every Swahili word ends with a vowel sound. It's not the same in English. In English, you can just end the word with any vowel, and of course the English language has 22 vowel sounds, and of course English has 24 consonants. But Swahili has 28 consonants, and like I said, these consonants are also more because of the special class of consonants. The special class of consonants really include DH, TH, FH, CH, and also NG with an apostrophe. That is why we do have more more consonants in Swahili, because the consonants go beyond go beyond just the letters of the alphabet. The consonants go beyond the English letters of the alphabet. And I believe you get to understand me when I say this. I hope I do not confuse you. I hope I do not confuse you. Lando Winter, thank you so much for joining us. Well, I know you say now, well, I know no other languages has any script because you have to define every letter in that alphabet. Every letter created in the African alphabet is defined with a sound and a meaning. Well, I do not know about the meaning of every alphabet, every letter on the alphabet, Land of Winter. But what I do get to what I do realize about Kiswahili or Swahili is that which is very, very odd to me. I think it's very, very odd to me when I get to learn or use Swahili. Swahili is gender neutral, which I find to be very, very odd. Swahili is gender neutral. And what I say about gender, when I say about being gender neutral and also being an African language and a Bantu language, for example, if you said he wants, if you talk about he wants, he wants is a phrase in Swahili. He wants, he wants. For example, if someone sitting here say he wants, if you say he wants and you translate that into Swahili, you will say anataka, anataka, anataka. Anataka in Swahili can be for a lady and it can also be for a man. It cannot be for a lady and or for a gent. It's gender. It doesn't have gender to it. Anataka is he wants or she wants. It's the same. Anataka, it's he wants or she wants. If you say anaenda, it's also not gender specific. You might not know whether you're talking about a woman or you're talking about a man. And therefore, it's not like if you said he is going. Let me just try use it a simple example. For example, if someone just came in, someone just came in, and you're saying amekuja, amekuja, amekuja can be either he has come or she has come. He has come or she has come. He has arrived or she has arrived. Amefika. Fika is arrived. So you would say amefika, which means he has arrived or she has arrived. So you wouldn't really know whether you're talking about a man or a woman, which I also find to be a bit odd in the Swahili language. But nonetheless, that is what it is. And also to the point that you're making, Land of Winter, what you get to realize is that in some languages not have their written format. They're written. Some languages are not written. Some languages are just spoken, I think. Let me just share with you briefly about a language which is spoken, but it's not written. I know there's so many of them, but nonetheless, let me try share these with Drew Brisky real quick. Some languages, I don't know why they do not have their writing. You cannot write those particular languages, or the people do not write them, but they still exist. Let me see if I get these are real quick, and then as we proceed. This is one of the languages, I believe, which is spoken on the Nile Valley. And if you're thinking about this particular language, you get to realize that Swahili is old. You can know what the culture was so many years ago. No, that means that we didn't see the difference in man or woman. Yeah, probably that would be a good way to interpret it. I think there wasn't a difference between man or woman, and the Bantu people really, they were not that. Right now we're talking about the communities being a patriarchal, or where people just want to be, the woman is taken out of the picture and they want to assert. But nonetheless, this is something I want to share real quick, and then we shall get back to the differences between Swahili and English and learn a little bit about the introduction.
There's a Nubian house. Do you have a crocodile in here?
This is one of the tribes in Sudan, and I think they also, this is one of the Nubian tribes in Sudan, and they also are able to get into Egypt. I think before we had the borders. I think they were both in Egypt and also in Sudan before we had these borders by the colonial masters. And what is being said, the languages that these people speak in this particular place in Sudan, they are not written languages. You cannot, these are just spoken languages, but they do have their languages. This is not Arabic. I know right now most of the people in Sudan, they do speak the Arabic language. I think even Egypt, some of them do speak the Arabic language, but before then we did have languages. Some of them are not written, and therefore some of these languages might be very, very easy. Some of them might be swept away or might become archaic or might become extinct.
So we just took an incredible morning cruise ride up the Nile River here in Aswan in southern Egypt. This place just gives me that magical feeling that you just can't explain. It's just absolutely surreal to be here. And as we were cruising down the Nile, I noticed this little village on the side with these white and blue circular looking buildings that were colorful. And I asked the driver, I was like, can we please stop? Can we please go check it out? What is going on in this village? So we stopped. We just arrived here now, and I cannot wait to tell you guys all about their culture. This is just so fascinating. And this video is super spontaneous. Wasn't planning it, but these are usually the best ones. Here we go. The Nubians originated from the early inhabitants of the central Nile Valley in southern Egypt and northern Sudan.
Without Nile, we are nothing. Yeah.
Food, water,
Whenever, everything.
Remember that time when I visited those amazing Sudanese pyramids in a place called Meroe? That was also in the land of the Nubians, the same tribe that I'm meeting here in southern Egypt. The Nubians have a fascinating culture, and they are believed to be one of the earliest cradles of civilization. In fact, their culture is so old that scientists have found evidence that Neolithic settlements date back to 7,000 BC. The Nubians have their own language, but it's only spoken, not written, and it has nothing to do with Arabic.
Yeah, that is the point I was just trying to make. These particular people in southern Egypt, also near Sudan, they do have their own languages, which are really just spoken languages. But if you ask these particular people to write down the languages, these particular languages are also not, they're not spoken languages, which means I think there's a high probability that these particular languages might also be lost at some point, because I think writing down the languages sort of makes them easier to preserve. This is my own thinking. But nonetheless, Swahili is written, and we do have those particular differences between Swahili and English as well. And that is what I want to share with us right here on the Blackwood Fan Network. Like I said, the language in southern Sudan, the language in the southern Egypt is not written, but it's there, and it has nothing to do with the Arabic language. The Arabic language, I think Akil was telling us yesterday, the Arabic language also borrowed from the Aramaic language, and the Aramaic language also, I think, sort of was twisted or was changed to become maybe perhaps what you do have as the Arabic language. But nonetheless, there are some main differences between Swahili and English. Like I said earlier, Swahili has 5 vowel sounds: a, e, o, u, and English has 22, which constitutes the English, the alphabet letters. And English has 24 consonants, while Swahili has 28. I explained earlier that Swahili has 28 because there's a special class of consonants which I believe were borrowed from other different languages, maybe the Arabic. And Swahili speeches alternate vowels with consonants. Swahili speech alternates vowels with consonants and contain basically no consonant clusters. You know, in Swahili, you will not find a consonant and after another consonant after another consonant. You will not find a cluster of consonants. For example, you will not find D and T, D and T and H put together. There will have to be an alternation between D, then you'll have a vowel, and then H, then a vowel, and for example, T and a vowel. That is the only way Swahili will be. And in Swahili, all utterances and syllables end with a vowel sound. To illustrate this particular point, you might say kitabu. Kitabu means a book in Swahili. For example, if you're talking about a book, I'm trying to look for a book. If you're trying to talk about a book in Swahili, you would say kitabu. kitabu. And when you say kitabu, kitabu ends with a syllable u, which is the vowel u, which is the vowel u, which is the English letter u. U is the English letter u, but it's the vowel u, the vowel u. And of course, you might also give an example of a pen. If you're talking about a pen, in Swahili, you normally say kalamu, kalamu, and therefore it also ends with the syllable u, with the vowel u, with the vowel u. And like I said, the vowel u is the English letter u. And also another difference between English and Swahili is that in Swahili, the two languages have a very different systems of word stress. You know, there's so many things. For example, if you're asking a question, you find the intonation changes. The intonation goes high as you get the end of the question or your sentence. The intonation goes high. Je, utafika saa ngapi? For example, if someone is asking you, what time will you arrive? What time will you arrive? What time will you get here? So someone will say, Je. Je signals the start of a question. Je, utafika saa ngapi? When they say saa ngapi, that P, the PI, which is a syllable PI, P, and will take a higher intonation when you're asking questions. And of course, it's very, very much different. Maybe when you're asking in English, you just say, what time will you get here? And that does not change. The intonation does not change, or the word stress does not change. And also another point to note about the differences between English and Swahili is that the intonation patterns are also a bit different. Yes, I explained that particular point. The diction and the intonation are different. In Swahili, the typical intonation pattern is a low fall, which is carried over into English, even when English uses a rise. Therefore, it's not always clear if the speaker is asking a question in English. Yeah, you may not know if someone is asking you a question in English, but in Swahili, there is a way it changes. There is a way it changes, and therefore, that is what you do have in the differences between English and Swahili. But nonetheless, going on from that, I want to go into the introduction and some words in the family unit. I believe everything starts with the family, and therefore, if you are able to understand some of the words in the family unit, you may also be able to start, making sense of some words in Swahili very, very easily. For example, mother is translated into mama. I believe most of us already know that mother is mama. And father translates into baba, B-A-B-A, baba. And if you're talking about a child, you talk about mtoto. If you are talking about a child, you normally do talk about mtoto. And of course, you also do have the members of the family unit. The members of the family unit really are, for example, your brother, you might say kaka, K-A-K-A, it's kaka. K-A-K-A, let me just put it down, K-A. These are members of the family. K-A-K-A is just brother. And you can also say ndugu. You can also say ndugu, which means brother as well. Ndugu, which means brother as well, brother. And there is also a distinction between these two particular words. For example, with ndugu and kaka. Kaka most of the time normally refers to a biological brother. Kaka, K-A-K-A. Normally, if you're talking about kaka, mama speaks mama and papa is a universal language. Thank you for letting me know. I hope you're also using it in the UK or in Ghana or in the States, wherever you are. What was I saying? I was saying also that ndugu simply means the brother in a broader sense. You can say ndugu yangu, which someone is not really your brother. They're just, is not a biological brother to me. So, but for kaka is more of a biological brother. That is kaka yangu, that is your brother, and they might be biological. But for dada is simply for sister. Dada is simply for sister, and whether be it your biological sister or they might not even be your biological sister, it doesn't make any difference. You simply just say dada, and that is the way it's understood to be. And like you said, mama is for mom, baba is our forefather. And if you're talking about maybe your uncle, your uncle, for example, you might talk about Uncle Snoop. You might talk about Uncle Snoop. That is mjomba. Mjomba is for uncle. Mjomba. I think at some point Snoop Dogg wanted to make everyone their nephew, everyone his nephew. And on every song, I think he used to say, "Yeah, that's my nephew." On every song, I think even if he would collaborate with anyone, he would actually just say, "Yeah, that's my nephew," regardless of whether he was coming from. But for nephew in Swahili, for nephew, you simply say mpo, nephew, nephew, nephew. You simply say mpo, mpo, which is a mpo. Mpo is for nephew, and like I said, for uncle, you do say. For uncle, you do say mjomba. For the aunt, you just say shangazi. For the aunt, you just say shangazi. Shangazi, shangazi, shangazi. And if you're talking about maybe your cousin, simply becomes binamu, binamu. But for the sake of just spoken Swahili, you'll not find people using these binamu and nephews and everything else. People just they're the most common ones are the brother and sister and mother and father. You'll not find all these other mpwa, and they are not very common. No one goes on calling their cousins mpwa. Yeah, it's mpwa in correct Swahili, but it's not a popular one. It just remains around the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, and maybe the uncle. Sorry, maybe the grandfather and the grandmother. For the grandfather, for the grandpa, you simply say babu, babu, babu. Babu. I think I've seen some people trying to call themselves Babu. I have seen some people calling themselves Babu. I think on other YouTube channels, I think I have seen people calling themselves Babu, Babu, that and that. But for the grandmother, for the grandma, it's simply Nyanya, N-A, Nyanya. It's simply Nyanya for the grandma, Nyanya. And I was also saying that Nyanya is also a Swahili word which means tomatoes or tomatoes. It depends on what you want or where you got your schooling. It's tomato or tomato. It depends. General Mosquito, I think you actually one of the most learned brothers. Do you call it tomato or do you call it tomato? I would just like to know from General Mosquito. I think he's one of the most learned brothers we do have. And this is a nyanya as well. You also call this nyanya, but it also translates into tomato. Also translates into grandmother. Grandmother could be nyanya, or nyanya could just means just tomatoes, and that is just a brief example. And also, if you're talking about also other members of the family, we also do have, for example, people who are just your friends. They are not family members, but they're friends. And so for friend, you normally say Rafiki. Rafiki is for friend. Rafiki is for friend. But if it's an enemy, that is Adui, Adui, Adui. That is for an enemy for Adui. And what other member of the family would you have? If you have an in-law, if you're talking about an in-law, you simply just say shemeji, in-law and in-law. You would just call them shemeji. You would just simply call them shemeji, and that is for an in-law. What other member of the family did we leave? I think if you're talking about maybe about the niece, I said it's mpwa. The cousin, it's binamu. The sister is dada. I think those are some of the members of the family, the close family, and also the extended family, and therefore that is what you would really refer them to as Mzungu. Mzungu is for the cracker. Mzungu is just for the Caucasian try and go about. But the problem is, let me tell you something which is very, very sad about the African continent and about the use of the Swahili language. Some that actually also that tells you about the brainwashing of our people. When someone owes you money, in the context of the Swahili language, and you are in maybe Nairobi and you're talking to someone in Swahili, The problem is with the Mzungu, people will even call you Mzungu. You're not a Caucasian, you're not a white man. But people will call you Mzungu because you owe them money. You owe them. They're trying to make you feel as you are the boss. So they will refer to their boss as a Mzungu. And that particular kind of a thing, even using the Swahili word and using Mzungu, people still call each other Mzungu. Hey, niaje Mzungu, blah blah blah, because you are the boss and you owe them something, and therefore they still continue using this particular word Mzungu, and that also plays into the mindset of the people and even the thinking. Even right now, they do believe that Mzungu is a boss, and Mzungu is the people who should pay them and owe them money and things like that, and therefore. If you talk about, if someone even calls you and tells you, hey, niaje Mzungu, blah, 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 it's because maybe they want to get some money from you, or they want to ask for their dues. And so they want to sort of, Mzungu is really for boss. They want to make you feel you are the boss, or they are referring to you as a boss. And that, I believe, is also is detrimental even to the thinking and the mindset of the people. That the same complex, the same Mzungu complex still runs even today. People will call you Mzungu even when you're not Mzungu, and it's crazy. Therefore, every language spoken today is a derivative of the African creation, because Portuguese is spoken in 6 African countries, and everyone is different. Even Portugal, Portuguese. I do not know even how. I cannot distinguish, I could not tell someone speaking Portuguese. But what I do get to understand, even with the languages, as you're making a very, very strong point, is that sometime back I was speaking to a brother. There are so many Kenyan and Sudanese people. There are so many Sudanese people in Kenya. And I was asking them, hey, what's up? What's going on? We were just having a conversation. And they were telling me, some of these words in Chinese, I can also be able to make out what there's some words in Chinese that were borrowed from the African languages, I believe perhaps from Sudan, some area in Sudan. And that is also why I believe that even the Chinese language, there might be also some words derived from an African language of the Sudanese people. And that is what the brother told me. I'm not really sure, but I will still continue and inquire on the same. But that is what the brother told me. I'm not worried about the Chinese and everything. They're nonsense. Even the language, we do share a language. And I told him, maybe they stole it from you as well. They probably did steal it from you. Abanandas, going back into that's funny. Specs inside the shit. The mind is good. Exactly. Let me tell you something. If someone is trying to borrow you money, or if someone is trying to ask for their due from you, they'll come up to you and call you Mzungu. Hey, niaje Mzungu. Hey, umepotea sana nini. That is what they say. Hey, how are you, Mzungu? I haven't seen you for a minute. Blah blah blah, and then they'll continue giving you their problems. They'll tell you, I haven't done this and that. Maybe you can assist me with this and that, because they know that the Mzungu, the white man, in their mind, the white man is a boss, and therefore that is a problem. Yes, it is a land of different dialects. Yes, I also get to agree with you. But moving on from that, I'm originally from Brazil, and my dialect. Originally from Brazil, and my dialect is different from Portuguese. Portuguese was encrypted by the Portugal. The thing is, we do have Africans on the continent fighting on who is speaking what colonizes language. For example, you do have in Cameroon people fighting because some of them are speaking English, others are speaking in French, and it's very, very sad. But nonetheless, moving on from that, let me just share with us a little bit more on our class for today, and I just get to give some more words in Swahili. I have tried to explain some of the words in the family setup. And like I said, the grandfather is Babu. The grandchild, I forgot about the grandchild. The grandchild is Mzuku. And let me use these particular words in examples in sentences. For example, you might say, habari yako mama, habari yako mama. Habari yako mama simply means, how are you, mom? How are you, mom? If you find a woman on the road, she's selling some oranges or she's selling some bananas, and you just want to say hello to her before you buy from her whatever she's selling. She might be selling cassava, she might be selling arrowroots or sweet potatoes or fruits, whatever she might be selling. You simply do say hello to her. You might say hujambo mama. You might say hujambo mama. Hujambo is how you say hello in Swahili. Hujambo mama. Or you might ask her habari yako mama. And if you say habari yako mama, it's how are you mom? How are you mom? And mama simply means, like I said, mother. And General Muskio was trying to tell me, yeah, it's universal, so don't tell us it's Swahili. Baba is for father. Baba is for father. And if you say baba alienda mjini, baba alienda mjini, it simply means the father went to the city. Our father went to the city. Father went to the city. And if you might say mtoto, mtoto means a child. Mtoto ako nyumbani. Nyumbani means home. Nyumbani means home. And you would say mtoto ako nyumbani, which means the child is at home. The child is at home. If you would like to say yule ni rafiki yangu, rafiki is a friend. Rafiki is a friend. Yule ni rafiki yangu, you would simply be saying that is my friend. That is my friend. And from that, I would just simply like to emphasize on the greetings, on how you say some Swahili greetings. You say hujambo. Hujambo simply means how, hello, simply means hello. Hujambo simply means hello. And what you say about what you say about my horse, like there was this culture voter. I always keep on forgetting his name. And kid was Michael. Is Michael? Let me just. I always keep on forgetting the guy's name. I think sorry about that. What you say about my mom? I was telling you about the brother, the guy who was a part of a black, the white guy who was a part of a black hip hop group. He was always saying on his hip hop song, yeah, "Word to your mama," and I don't know what the "Word to your mama" was all about. But nonetheless, Bombi Danfa says that can still find a word for devil in Madinka. There is a word for the devil in Shetani. There is a word for the devil in Shetani. So in Swahili, which is Shetani. But there was someone who was asking a very, very good question about the devil in different African communities, and people. There was someone who was saying that everyone, all the religions agree that there are different gods. You will find every religion talking about, oh, these are gods, and then the other religion talks about this is the other god, and every other religion has their own gods, but they do not agree on which god they, different religions do not agree on which god they understand to be the supreme god, but they understand, or they do agree on the issue of the devil. Every other religion, I believe, wants to say, oh, there's a devil or there's an evil. All religions want to agree about the evil, but when it comes to the supreme power in the universe, no one wants to agree on that, and there is all these different stories. But nonetheless, in Swahili, yes, there is, and it's Shetani. In Swahili, you normally do say Shetani for the devil, Shetani for the devil. But also, I think also this word did not exist because it has a special class of a consonant. The SH There's a special class of consonant. So I think this might have been a word that came with the Arabs. This is my thinking. There might be a word that came with the Arabs. There is also another one which is Ibirisi, but I'm not sure whether Ibirisi is totally Swahili. Ibirisi also means the devil. Ibirisi also means the devil. But for Shetania, we probably also did not have it. This is my thinking. I have to research and find if we did have a word for the devil. But these are two words. We do have Shetani for the devil, and we also do have Ibirisi. But I do not know. I don't think people. I'm not certain about the origin of the word or whether they did have in the local so in the Bantu languages. Maybe it was there. Maybe they did have a word for evil, and then another word for the opposite of evil. But nonetheless, for the Madinka, you probably might find one. With the influence of maybe you might find one. Are you talking about Vanilla Ice Spikes? Yeah, I'm talking about Marky Mark. I'm talking about Marky Mark. I was talking about Marky Mark was saying, yeah, word to your mama. That is Zero Mosquito was asking what I'm saying about his mama. But nonetheless, going back into our class for today, I'm yet to find out that your question made me think a bit. I'm yet to find out whether we did have devil, a word for devil in the original Bantu. It might have been there. It might have been there. It probably was. I'm thinking it probably was because it might have been there. I'm not sure. But anyway, going back to Swahili, I just wanted to just share briefly on some of the few words, and then we shall wrap up the class for today. The body parts, when you talk about the body parts, but before the body parts, I had said the way you say hello is hujambo, or you can also say habari yako. Habari yako simply means how are you? How are you? But hujambo is simply for hello. You can even use both of them together. You can say hujambo, and that which is hello, and then continue to say habari yako. You can simply say hujambo, and then proceed to say habari yako, which is hello, how are you? Hujambo, habari yako. But for the sake of what is common, we just say hujambo or just say habari yako. You do not, most of the time, you do not use both of them, but you can use both of them. Someone would respond and says hujambo. The way you respond, if someone says hello to you, which is hujambo, you respond and tell them sijambo, sijambo, S-I-J-A-M-B-O, sijambo. That is how you respond to them. And if you're greeting a group of people, if you just found a group of people, for example, you just got into a class, word meant right on spectrum means right on your mother. Oh, I do not know about the link. I don't know about the link or the way they use it. So hujambo, you would simply say sijambo. Hujambo is for one person. You send hello to one person. You send hello to one person, and the response is sijambo. The response is sijambo. Sijambo. Sijambo is a response. Sijambo is a response. Sijambo would be the response. If someone says hujambo to you, you say sijambo would be the response. And of course, if you're saying hello to a group of people, there's a difference. Hello to a group of people. If you saying hello maybe to a group of people, like 5 people, you would say hamjambo. Hamjambo. Hamjambo is hello. Is hello to a group of people. Hello. Hello to a group of people. To a group. Is hello to a group of people. And they would respond and say hatujambo. Hatujambo. They would respond and say hatujambo. 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 Before we continue, I just remembered something I thought I should share. I just remembered something I thought I should share, and let me share these real quick. as people continue to do, as people continue to, as people continue to coexist, as people continue to coexist, I think every other day, there is an advent of a new language. And I wanted to go briefly. I wanted to touch briefly on what was happening with a new language. I just happened to stumble into. And this is a language that you get to use when you're calling for angels. It's a language that you get to use when you're calling for angels. And there is this Paula White. There is this Paula White who was on her podium speaking to her congregants. I believe praying with her congregants. And she actually went on to call on the angels from Africa. Let me see if I can get the video real quick. And some things you just look at them, and let me just get these real quick. I just thought that this was really funny. This was really funny. But nonetheless, I'll just share it briefly. Then we shall get back into our Swahili class and now what's happening with the languages of Africa. But just a second. These are short break, but yes, she is. Yes, she is. She is. Yes, she is.
And strike, and angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus. From South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. From Africa. From South America. Angelic forces. Angelic reinforcement. Angelic reinforcement. Angelic reinforcement. Fika hata anda ata. Ora bata rata ande eke.
I believe that's the advent of a new language, and she's going in with it.
For I hear the sound of victory. 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 I hear the sound of
That was a MAGA the new language, which is the MAGA victory, the MAGA victory language. I don't know eventually what happened to the angels who were supposed to be coming from Africa, and I also do not understand which particular part of Africa the angels are supposed to come from. But nonetheless, let's go back into So Trump already built a wall. How are the angels supposed to come in? The Trump supposedly was working on building a wall, and how are the angels supposed to be coming in? And also, probably they did not have their visas right, and then there's no way you're not getting anywhere with no visas. But nonetheless, that is also another language that people might also be exploring a little bit later on with in different churches, maybe in Africa or in wherever the religion have been. Talking about the body parts in Swahili, sorry for the deviation. Talking about the body parts in Swahili, we do have the head in Swahili. The head. We normally do say kichwa. If you're holding your head up, if you're holding your head, and you just say kichwa. For the eyes, you normally do say jicho. For the eye, you do say jicho. I think I should just write them down. Let me just take them down on the side. The angels did actually come, but I think they came in perhaps way too late. Kichwa is for the head. Kichwa is for the Landowner says the angels did not make it through the portals. And the saddest thing, the saddest thing, talking about even the angels, the saddest thing, which is also another thing that has been used as a tool. If you go into a classroom, for example, find a classroom of maybe, say, 8th graders or even 7th graders or 5th graders, they are in their class, yeah? And just tell them for a moment, just close your eyes and imagine The angels coming down. Imagine the angels coming down. These are students in a school. These are pupils in a school. Yeah, just tell them, close your eyes. Imagine the angels now coming down. The biggest imagination, even for myself, you know, when I was coming up and I used to hear all these stories about angels, all the angels in my head were actually white men and perhaps even women, white men and women, you know, ascending from the skies. And because in my school, you know, we used to have all those, you know, funny stories and everything else, all the angels could do this and that. And in my head, there was, you know, white men and women wearing white robes. And these white men and women wearing white robes were ascending everywhere. And even with that particular congregation, I believe all they could see was the same. They could just see, you know, people, white men and women coming down in robes and with fancy, you know, fancy styles of moving about. But nonetheless, let me go back to the class. I do not want to go into issues of what the angels do and what they don't do, or what shenanigans that be. I was talking about the parts of the body, and the kichwa is really the head. You do say it's the head. That is a kichwa, Kichwa, kichwa. When we talk about the hair is really nywele. The hair is really nywele. And we also do have the eyes. The eyes, we do say jicho for the eyes. Jicho is for the eyes. Jicho is for the eyes, for the eye. And if you're talking about perhaps the nose, yeah, you're talking about the nose. The nose would be pua, P-U-A, for pua, would be the nose. If you're talking about the ears, you're talking about the ears, you're hearing the ear would be sikio. Sikio is the ear. And of course, the ear is so much talent, even in Swahili, to the role it plays. You hear using your ear, and therefore even the verb to hear is sikia, which is to hear. But the noun itself, the noun for the ear, the noun itself, it's sikio. So there's a difference. There's a sikia and there's sikio. Sikio is for the ear, but to hear really is a sikia. And there's a mouth, which is mdomo. Mdomo is for the mouth. Mdomo is for the mouth. Mdomo is for the mouth. And there is also the neck. The neck. If you're talking about the neck, you say shingo, which is a neck. And of course, if you're talking about the chest, the chest is normally kifua. The chest is kifua. And there was also a disease. For example, tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is known as kifua kikuu because it affects the chest and you know the respiratory system. Tuberculosis, which is a TB, it's normally is known as kifua kikuu. That is just a division, but it's not but it's related to the body parts. If we're talking about maybe the hand, you know, the hand is mkono, M-K-O-N-O. Mkono is the hand. Mkono is for the hand. And in case you're talking about the leg, you say mguu. The leg is mguu. The stomach is really tumbo. The stomach is tumbo. The heart is moyo. The heart you normally call it the heart. You call it moyo. The heart is moyo, or you can also say roho, R-O-H-O. And we also do have, for example, the knee. The knee is goti, G-O-T-I, goti. And in case we're talking about the fingers is vidole. Vidole is for the fingers. V-I, vidole. Vidole is for the fingers. Vidole is for the fingers. Those are some of the parts of the body. For example, you're talking about the back or the buttock. The back or the buttock, you normally do say the back, the buttock, you normally do say taco. And if you're thinking about the back in terms of your spinal cord, the back, it's mgongo. Mgongo is also for your back, which is, for example, the spinal cord, which is mgongo. And yes, I believe that's a little bit of what you do say these particular words in Swahili as. And tumbo means ant in Mandika. I would also love to know a bit of some languages from West Africa. You might find, maybe you might compare some things in these particular languages. And I thank you so much, Bombi Damfa. We are almost winding up this particular class for today. But nonetheless, there's so many things that you can be able to learn from Swahili. And also, I believe if I get the opportunity, I will be learning a little bit more about some Kinyarwanda, and also there is some similarities between Kinyarwanda and Kibaganda. I got to learn that when I was going to Rwanda with the Black Otfa family, I realized that the people of Rwanda and the people of Uganda, they can understand each other rather easily. It's not like in Kenya and it's not like in Kenya and Kinyarwanda. It's a bit different. But the people of Uganda and the people of Rwanda, there's something there. They are not the same languages. They're almost the same, and therefore would be much easier for people communicating from Uganda to Rwanda than would be communicating from Kenya to Rwanda. But nonetheless, I just want to thank everyone for joining us on this particular show. Remember, if you would like to support the Black Hot Network website, you can network. Kindly use the network website. It's www.blackhotfirenetwork.com, and I'll click on /donate and support the network with $5, $10, $15. How do you say I'll break your goddamn back? It's just nitakupiga will be like I'll beat you up. Nitakupiga is really I'll beat you up. Kupiga is a phrase. It's a phrase. Nitakupiga. It's a phrase really meaning I will beat you. I will beat you up. I will beat you up. I'll beat you up. That's how you can say nitakupiga. Nitakupiga wewe. If you say nitakupiga wewe means I will beat you up. Nitakupiga wewe, because wewe means you. I'll beat you up. That would be nitakupiga wewe. But nonetheless, I don't know. If you have any other question, kindly feel free to ask before we wind up. If anyone has any other question, kindly feel free to ask. You can also ask the pastor Paula Hoyt, what she was saying to the angels. I think she might have said something wrong to the angels. I think she might have said something wrong, or she might have given a wrong address, and that is why that did not happen. But nonetheless, much peace and love. I want to wish you a happy and a productive week ahead. And tomorrow we shall carry on. I hope we shall be able to carry on also tomorrow, and with our study classes for the weekend. If you'd like to get the book, we do have some notes on this, and of course this is on lulu.com. If you would like to get the guidebook on swahili.com, it's available. You can purchase the book on the notes. I'm hoping also to still be able nitakupiga mzungu. It's a mzungu, it's MZU. It's mzungu, not mzungu. It's mzungu like that. Yeah, that's a cracker right there. Yeah, and that will be sent to Kupiga. That will be I'll beat your ass up. But what was I saying? You can get the book with all these particular notes on lulu.com. You can buy the book. It's actually right there available for you, and you can click on that particular link. I think I didn't not copy the whole link. Sorry about that. Let me just paste it again. The second one is the actual link. The first one did not copy it, right? Angels just angles of light of energy. But Jerome Mosquito, when you were younger, just admit, when you were younger and you heard about angels, didn't you think about the angels being white men and women wearing white robes? Wasn't that what Hollywood made angels to appear to be, or even the textbooks or whatever illustrations of angels? Tell me about what you thought about the angels. Those are white people wearing white robes and flying, whatever ways they were using to fly. The same message and the same image even the Africans still have. In Ghana, they had an angel in Ghana. Let me take you back to Ghana. They had an angel in Ghana holding up a spear. I think that was also a white spear. He was holding up a white spear. That was a statue that was built in Ghana of an angel, and they had an angel in Ghana holding up a white spear and stabbing the devil. The devil was actually a black man. The devil was just a black man lying on the ground, being stabbed in the stomach by the angel. And the angel had the white robes. He was a white man, and that was a statue in Ghana. And like I said, even if even if the angels were to turn up and help in the vote counting, even if the angels were to turn up and help in the vote counting in Michigan or in the vote in whatever other state, that is the way they will actually just that is the way you'll just actually meet them on the road. You'll just find them like exactly that way on the road. But nonetheless, that is the tactics and the brainwash and the propaganda. But nonetheless, did you say that the angels? No, for me, the images that I saw of the angels were white people, white men and women wearing white robes, and that was what was happening even in Ghana. But I believe our people are waking up, and please do not get caught up in all this nonsense. But nonetheless, yes, that's this general. That's the truth. I said me, I thought they were Arabs. I don't know if the Africans have told that shit. They probably are afraid. They are afraid of the repercussions. You cannot just tear down an angel. You must be ready for the repercussions. you cannot just go and tear it down. You have to be ready. But nonetheless, thank you so much. We have just winding up with our class for today. We shall continue tomorrow, and I'll learn a little bit more about Swahili. And I do hope that even when we get to the opportunity to go to Tanzania, by then in March next year, we shall have the opportunity to learn briefly about Swahili. You shall be able to express yourself and just communicate. Even if it's not as fluent, we shall be able to at least have an appreciation of the language and an understanding of the language. We shall appreciate Swahili and we shall be able to apprehend it. And that way we shall be able to, have a much better experience in Tanzania when we get there March next year. Remember, if you'd like to join us on the trip, we shall be giving much more details right here on the Black Watch Fire Network next year in mid-March, on the 15th of March, next year, 2021. We trust that we shall be able to organize and continue on that particular trip. And you are much welcome. For the details, we shall be giving you the details as we continue to progress. So once again, much peace and love. Till next time, I want to wish you a happy happy and productive mind control. How would the angels be white when Africans are the oldest people on the planet? So angels would be black and white. It's mind control. Hollywood has actually sold that. Hollywood has sold the story. Hollywood has done that. Let me. If actually you have never seen something. For example, personally, I have never seen a Tanzanite. Tanzanite are the rocks that are found in Tanzania. And then Bombi Damfa or Nish Penda or even Zero Mosquito, anyone just comes up to me. Sorry, and they tell me, hey, look at how this is how a Tanzanite looks. A Tanzanite looks like this. This is a Tanzanite. And for me, all my life, I've never seen a Tanzanite. I do not know how Tanzanite looks like. I have never seen it. Just here, there is a rock known as a Tanzanite. I've never seen it. And then on the TV, or anywhere someone brings it, this is how a Tanzanite looks like. And me being an ignorant African, I'll just be like, oh, this I've never seen this. It looks really, really wonderful. So this is what a Tanzanite looks like. The same thing with the propaganda, the mind control. I think Africans, Hollywood sold the story, and that is why we are in mental shackles because you've let it, we have let the narrative and the nonsense continue. But nonetheless, thank you so much for everyone for joining us on the show. And I just want to thank everyone for taking part or for joining us on this particular broadcast. Like I said, if you would like to get a copy of the notes for our class, we do have a small booklet. I hope to expand more on the same. But you can support and get this particular book. It's lulu.com. And I look for Mwanzo Swahili Guidebook. Mwanzo Swahili Guidebook. You will be able to find that particular one. And remember, I want to wish you a happy and productive weekend ahead. But tomorrow we shall link up on the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Black Watch Fire Network. So the class for the weekend. This is a song from West Africa, and the name of the song is Ayo, which means joy.
legendary days.
My blessing gonna never fall down on me. Goodness of mercy follow me every day. Everything when I touch for this life, anything when I want. Gina my follow, Gina push you. I'm better. If you're dirty, don't mind them. You gotta really come make you buy them. My time don't come, you. I don't need it. Every day, showers of blessing rain on me. Share the money where you want, I'll be on fair amount, time it don't come, I don't want happiness knocking, prosperity something, I'm blessing calling, I don't want I should you go, wherever we go. Victory, we're not the finish. I need to be you. Look, you know, go on. No more tension, no wala. To the all I want. Oh, what's it there? I'm so dollars, baby. I want to love you. I want to be on the life you believe. Shamio, Shamio, I don't need it. Every day, showers of blessing rain on me. Share the money where you want, I'll be on fair amount, time it don't come, I don't want happiness knocking, prosperity something, I'm blessing calling, I don't want we are dancing in dance of follow.